All right, and welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, May 30th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So, again, doing the video a little early here. We got the members live after the close. But again, it's been another grind fest, and we've been doing this for 2 weeks now, although right now, short term, you have bears in a little bit of control here as I get my daily back up there. You can see bears in a little bit of control here short term ever since that gap up last Thursday. We talked about the likelihood of a false breakout there, and we have pulled back in. You can see the spiders here. Still just pulling back on light volume, though. We're not seeing heavy selling. We did get Q1 GDP and PCE this morning. You know, kind of a little bit of a Goldilocks number to a degree, but we did have corporate earnings taking a pretty good hit. Our corporate profits, 1.7 versus 3.9 expected, so a big miss there. Although I think some of that was priced in. I mean, we've had not a great earnings season, as we've talked about, outside of a few companies, and obviously CRM taking a pretty good hit today, down 20% there, and actually slicing this trend line. I was hoping that this would sell off, but I was hoping it would sell maybe to here so I could buy, but not going to look at it right now, although I do think it is probably due for a bounce. I think there's a fib in play here. Yeah, you did slice the 50%. Maybe you could go down to the 200 whole round number, 618. That would be certainly a decent level to play. And look at this pivot point. Let me get rid of this fib. Bit right there, breakout, back test. So you get down to that sub 200 handle, I'd get pretty interested in CRM. But either way, that did skew things. And one thing I've noticed today for sure, I talked about this a lot on Twitter. So obviously the Dow taking a hit, and the Qs, IGV as well, hitting, slicing this trend line here. That is, and everybody's going to talk about a head and shoulder. I'm sure that it's going to be all over. But we'll see what it does by the end of the week. But either way, that skewing things. But everyone talking about, NVIDIA is the sole reason for the rally, and don't trust the rally because this, that, and the other thing. But we're selling off today, and if we look at, we got 371 advancers versus 130 declining, and we also have, if we look at the heat map just to visualize it, it's an inverse, right? Big tech down, of course, cloud down in sympathy to CRM, but those are the only two real sectors that are down. Look at the laggards. IWM's been pumping all day. It's now just coming in off the highs a little bit, but up 1.1. It was up a little over 1.25 at one point. One sector you guys know I've been talking about a lot here is Dow Transports, up 1.1, and we did. I think we closed that gap or got very close to it there on the transports. Another laggard sector, VNQ, closing the gap. Maybe a little evening star there. Other sectors that are holding up well, XLF up 27 cents. KRE, everybody was crying about KRE yesterday. The regional banks are going down, up 2% again today. So getting a good bounce there. Some other, biotech, right, up 1.7. XHB has been weak lately, up 1.7 as well, 1.6, 1.7. XRT, right, up 1.25 there. So some of these other sectors, and right, this just kind of like adds into the fact, even XLE getting a bounce day with oil down. This adds into the fact that the indexes are kind of pinned here, and it's going to take a big kind of move to unpin them. But right now, market's looking to be waiting on PCE. We are coming into, so right now there's a pin right now at 52.50, and you can see it. I don't have it I don't have it set up, but it's at 52.50. You'll just have to take my word for it on the SPX. I wouldn't rule out a little bit more of a dump though as we get towards the end of the day. Markets had a good chance to rebound. I talked about this, reclaiming this area could get us to pump up, and we did, but weren't able to accept above it and hold it, and now kind of backing off. We had a little slice here when Goolsby was talking bounce, kind of just bear flagging right now, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more of a flush. I am getting the sense that they're kind of fishing for shares here, but they're just not coming up with anything. So that can mean lower prices here. We'll see what PCE does tomorrow, and I think that'll tell the story here. But ultimately, markets are backing off here. A close below this level would obviously not be a positive, but we'll see what we get tomorrow. And again, there's still lots of room for higher lows here, but definitely right now, short-term bears are in control, but one thing I am watching, again, like I said, it's interesting to see that index pinning. What I mean by that is CRM down big, Microsoft down big, Google down big. Every other laggard sector is up today. So in essence, if one thing's down, other things are up, and that does create a pinning effect on the markets, meaning it's very hard for the markets to go down very sharply unless you get some type of a big macro blowout. Right now, we talked about the vol selling at 1475 to 15. Vol got up to 1488 today, and we saw a pretty good sell. So it is off the lows. It's actually being pretty stubborn. I think it could even spike tomorrow if they want it to. It's done enough backing off so far, but that did end up working out. Obviously, it didn't. I think vol got up there at like 1 in the morning, so there was no way to like actually trade that unless you had an order sitting on VIX futures up there. But either way, it did back off a little bit, and they're holding vol into PC. We have a lot of jobs data next week too, so there's plenty of catalysts for moves for this market. But right now, we are backing off here, and we'll see what we get into the end of the day. Right now, short term though, reclaiming the high of the day can rally us up a little bit. We'll see what PCE brings us tomorrow. 5200 would probably be your next logical level. It will be your next logical level on the downside if we were to continue to sell. Triple Qs here. Again, hanging on to that 452. I got this extra line drawn in here. You can see that was the low from last Thursday. We bounced off it nicely, but now lower high, so we can break that if we do come down. 450, there's a pivot right there, and then below that, 448. That was your previous all-time high. Also the 20-day moving average there. So big level there on the Qs. We talked about the Russell. Again, pretty strong. Again, this is definitely making me question the sell. Another thing that's making me question the sell is the volume. You're not seeing big sellers part ways with their shares. So just be aware of that. But IWM getting a bid here, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Dow here down 75 basis points. Again, CRM really skewing this thing to the downside. And again, we want to talk about NVIDIA skewing things to the upside, but you have to talk about it on the other side too. So again, Russell is holding up. If you want to say, well, the Russell's weak and it's a better indicator of breadth, then you also have to acknowledge that today when it's up. But either way, Dow here still getting a dead cat. And I'm watching this on the YM. I talked about this yesterday, but RSI on the 4-hour got down to a 10.48. So going into PCE tomorrow, I mean, I have to think that maybe we could spike it down, but I think it would probably get bought up and we get relief off that. That's just kind of like how I think this is set up here. Maybe we could spike down a little bit more, but starting to see some pretty beat up readings here on certain things. Anyways, SMH here down at 1% on the day. Again, so that evening star setup we talked about possibly in play. This could retrace to the 20 moving average. Definitely nothing to say that can't happen, but we did close the weekly, like I said yesterday, above that pivot high. So it's still very strong from a big picture standpoint. There's the SOX, same thing. So, you got support here at 5K, you got the 20 MA there, but pretty good reversal, a little bit of a evening star setup. IGV on the weaker side, I want to see where this closes tomorrow. We are slicing the 200 right now. Obviously, CRM skewing the entire sector, but pretty good slice there. We'll see where that closes. If that closes above the 200 or this trend line tomorrow, you could get a pretty sizable bounce, I'd imagine, in cloud software. So again, watching that weekly close. All right, transports again, strong, go figure, right? Now it wants to be strong. So good bid there. Next level again, 15.2 has been kind of a point of control. It's not a major level. We'll take a fib there and a bet. Yeah, so you got the 382 at 15.150 and then 15.265 area. So there's some levels, but I'll be watching this. Does this continue to show relative strength? Do these other sectors that have been beaten down continue to show relative strength? All right, so interest rates here, again, backing off. We talked about kind of a crowded trade here yesterday. I think that's still the case. And I'm still long-term bullish on rates, but I think the short term, it's a little crowded. We'll see what we get here. We had a one-day back off of this level. We'll see if that's all it needs. My guess is that it's going to need more consolidation to go higher. But rates backing off here. And again, we'll leave it at that. We'll see which way we go with PCE tomorrow. Is it priced in? Did the bond market price it in with that good sell? lately. All right, XHB again up 1.5, 1.6, filling the gap there. So we'll see that. We talked about the 100 MA and the test candle yesterday. We figured there should be a bounce, and there was. Short term, got to get above 106, and then you got 107.50. So those are just short term levels there. But good bounce for XHB, good bounce for VNQ up 1.25. Again, a weak sector, but strong today, and it's not even participating in the little late sell that we're seeing here as we get into double bottom. So again, get that sense that we're just kind of fishing for shares down here, and they're just not getting them, so we may need to go lower. But VNQ, pretty good bounce. Again, not participating in that late sell. Neither is XLF really. So that's still grinding up. So this sell is all coming. I mean, look at this here. This sell is all coming from just one area. Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Broadcom, CRM. Microsoft low of the day, Google low of the day, Broadcom near the lows of the day, NVDA lows of the day, even Intel hitting the lows of the day right now, and obviously CRM, it's off the lows of the day, but it's getting hammered. Now look at these other sectors: VNQ, XLF, XHB, KRE, DJT. What do you notice about all those? XRT just off the highs. Right, IWM pulling off the highs, but still up nicely on the day. So that's the dynamic I'm very interested in. All right, where do we leave off? VNQ, XLF, KRE, KBE. We talked about that. Good bounce there. Maybe an evening star there on the daily too. And broker dealers too. Another one still strong, not participating in the sell. So again, it looks like rotation. It looks like they're fishing for shares, and they're just not getting them here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Crude backing off a little bit, down 1.6. That 80 handle, right, just won't stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times. We got up to 80.50 yesterday, and then right back down. So again, the longer this goes sideways here, the more this looks like a bear flag. XLE still green, even with XLE down. Just kind of a controlled sell there. Probably get some support around 89.50 with the 100. Through that, 200, and then 87. You guys know I like that level a lot better. XOP up 0.25% there. OIH up just under 0.5%. So still just being patient with those. CCJ new highs. Again, still looks good. No problems there. URNM not really participating. Neither is NJ, but again, chart pattern wise, they're still very good. All right, nat gas continuing to pull back. I'm looking for this at 250. I did initiate a small position in this today. I think 250 to 252 is your next big level. I'd expect a bounce there likely tomorrow, maybe even a little bit through that. Just a bounce though, not expecting anything major. But who knows? It's nat gas, so it could go to a bounce could be 50 cents. So, but nat gas pulling back today. Inventories were weak, but it didn't really sell off that much after inventories. All right, dollar index down today, down a third of a percent. Closed above 105 yesterday, but no follow through. So again, bonds having a good day altogether. Gold here, still backing and filling. I'm still just waiting for that to do a little bit more of that. But one thing is interesting is it's gold up just a little bit, right? Or really flattish. GDX green, and then silver down 3 1/3. But look at SIL up 3 cents, SILJ up 5. So again, miners still acting well, and that's a good sign. Platinum down 1.5. That still needs to do more backing and filling, and palladium here flat to positive. Copper, lastly, again, I didn't love that 20 MA just because of the velocity of that candle there. So we got a one-day bounce and we're through it. But there should be good support right here, at least for now. After that, 425, you can go down to there. But this should be decent daily chart support here for copper. All right, and then one other thing too that's really unbothered by the sell today is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin just holding up. Bullish inside bar. This has done enough consolidation on the daily to break out. So if this wants to go, it can. So I don't see any issues here with Bitcoin, and it can get up to that 74.50, 75 handle if it wants to. So no problems there. And again, sector looks good. ETH still holding up. That probably needs a little bit more time, but Bitcoin looks fine. And again, I say this just to reiterate here. So double bottom spike, Q's lower low. Again, look at the heat map. It's the inverse of what we've seen for the last 18 months, right? Even with that little dip, we only lost six. Where'd I go? Even with that dip, we only lost 6 or 7 advancers on the S&P. So interesting. Everybody's talking about breadth this, breadth that on the way up, but on the way down, it's kind of flipping. So is that rotation here? Remains to be seen. But right now, light volume pullback. Bears still in control in the short term, but bulls have a lot of room for a higher low, and that's the bottom line and the big takeaway that I will take from it today. So anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.